Hey everybody, I was waiting for Fun in the Country Basement to wrap up before I went live. Welcome Sean, Baby Girl, RC, 3D Print Viking, Chris Gulata, Chris Freeze, Michael Fox, Tech Dad, Robert Reynolds, Matt Johnson, David Hooten, Michael Cassell, The Llama. Yep, my lights are out. It's Alien After Dark. I gotta pretend it's dark anyways. Still daylight out. I told Rosa I'm gonna put sparkling lights behind and dangle. Green hair and ham. Hey, I've got my PJs on tonight too. Let's see if I can stand up on my chair without breaking my neck. Alien at Dusk. There we go. Got a rebrand already. Hey, what's up, Vince? And my shirt's riding up. Oh yeah, Rosa told me I had to mute my phone during the stream. Someone called her out last night for texting me. Storm Area 51. I'm a bit far from that. Uncle Ron, you haven't seen my hair? It's been about a month now, I think, since I signed it, didn't I? Yeah, I know it was Chris. I wasn't going to call you out, though. And if anybody wants to join me live, I will share the StreamYard link with you. I think it being dark, it actually makes me look weird. Alexa, turn on the bedroom light. Alexa, turn on the bedroom light. Make me tell you again. Well, Ron, I'm thinking about letting my beard grow out until Murph and then dyeing my beard green right before, or not Murph, Earth. Dyeing it right before Earth. She always triggers when I don't want her to, and then when I tell her to do something, she just... My bad, John Mack, and welcome. What's up, Adam in 3D? I think it'd be longer than Walter's if I waited until Murph. And I don't think Rosa would be happy with me if I let it grow until Murph. What's printing? I am printing a... Let me turn the right way. I am printing a part for Ryan Buttram's community print he's doing for Mike Whaley's Maker Coin. But I think I have to print it again because I wasn't thinking, and it's printing in PETG. I think I need to print it again in PLA. I did message him about it and ask him if if PETG is okay. Yeah, I actually, when I was streaming previously, I had the dragon behind me, and when I sat just right, the wings looked like they were coming out of my head. Yeah, I actually, oh wait, hang on. I might have somebody wanting to come in. I might have somebody coming in. I will send him the link, and then if he shows up, he shows up. All right, I've got a company that may pop in at some point tonight during the stream. Yeah, I didn't see on the download page for the Maker Coin what his address was. I obviously know Ryan's address because he's a subscriber, but I didn't know if we were sending it to him or to somebody else. So I'm waiting. Yeah, Llama, no problem. I'll be here until 9 Eastern, so we just got started. We got 2 hours, 45 minutes remaining. I was up until we were streaming on Ryan's Saturday night chat until 2 a.m. You lost your photo corner? You should have put her desk up in the twins' room, Chris. It was fun, though. Catch you later, Tom. And if anybody else, let me check to see if there are still parts available. I'm not sure if they've all been claimed. Printing, received, printing, received, printing, shipped, received, printing, received, shipped, received. From the looks of it, I think all the parts are actually claimed, but a lot of them are still showing that they're being printed. So I don't know if he's going to free some up. I know I got an email from somebody. It doesn't say where, so I've got to... Did I post it? I'm live on Twitter. I most certainly did. So in about 30, 45 minutes, I'm going to have a 3D printing filament company join us. You may know them. I won't announce them yet, just in case they can't make it. Does it have the address to... Let's see. I see the memorial. I don't know. For some reason, I'm not seeing the address, but I mean, I've got Ryan's address from him being a UFO subscriber, so. No, I didn't? What do you mean, no, I didn't? I posted. Did it not go through? I swear I tweeted. Oh, I didn't hit tweet. It's still up there on the screen. Oops. Good catch, babe. Good catch. Hey, what's up, Kit? Cyber Dustin? Oh, maybe I'm not logged in. That could be it. That could be it. Since I got this new PC, this new keyboard. Oh, in the dashboard. Gotcha. I got it. I was looking on the main page. Oh, goodness, babe. So dramatic. Did I get your hat in the box this month? The boxes are going out tomorrow, so no, not yet. Which reminds me, there were 2 people that ordered late, and they asked me if I could send them this month, and I know one of them was Techie Dad. Can't remember who the other person was to make sure that it gets sent out. Is it just me, or is my camera flashing? Look, I tell you what, Sean, I'm gonna send you the pink sparkly one, since nobody wants to order it. Like, I've even had a couple female 3D printing people order hats, and I thought for sure the pink ones would be popular with the women folk, and they didn't buy the pink ones. You got your new PC set up, Michael Fox? Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, I think I got a pink. I think one's pink with the sparkly and one's a pink camo. If I remember correctly. I'd have to double check. And again, if anybody wants to join me live on chat here, let me know, and I will be more than happy to send you the link. Being my first stream, I should have. Well, this obviously isn't my first stream. My first scheduled stream. I probably should have been a little bit more organized and had a plan for discussion points, but who has time for all that scheduling stuff? All that organization. Yeah, I think it's just Streamlabs. Every once in a while, the camera like shows a refresh circle and turns gray. No, it's my first time printing or using Prusa Slicer, and I'm really liking the gyroid infill. It looks cool through the walls with the transparent filament. Is the proper term for it translucent or transparent? Going to get a box of tacos. Bring me some. I could use some tacos. I made some hash browns, eggs, and bacon for dinner. Joe Prince, thank you for the sub. That's one thing I miss from using Streamlabs. Vince, thank you for the sub. Steve Ensley, thank you for the sub. But thankfully, YouTube is emailing me. Well, I've been using. I started off with Cura. I think it was Cura 3.5 or 3 point something. And not this past Easter, but the Easter before, it wasn't slicing these Easter eggs very well. So people told me to try Prusa or Slicer PE. And I used that for a little bit, but I didn't really enjoy the interface. And there was some other reason too. I was getting some bad quality prints. So then Chris Freeze was like, you should get Simplify 3D. So I forked over the cash and got Simplify 3D. And now they're going to their weird system and their customer support stinks. So when I set up my new PC, I decided I'm just going to put Prusa Edition on here, or Prusa Slicer on here. Hey, what's up, Carl? If you can see through, it's transparent. If only light gets through, then it's translucent. Ah, makes sense. My bad, Chris. I didn't mean to make you feel bad. Thought you were going to get tacos. No, it's definitely not your fault. It's Simplify 3D was a great printer and or slicer, and it did give me better prints, but I don't like the direction that they're going. So Prusa Slicer it is until I find something that makes me mad about it, and then I might bounce between that and Cura because somebody told me the new Cura isn't too bad. My lighting strips are coming unstuck. My bottom one I siliconed in today to test it, and it seems to be sticking really well. So I think I'm going to silicone the rest of them. Have I tried Idea Maker? I have not, but I've heard about it recently. I can't remember whose video I was watching. It might have been a Chris Riley video, but that's not a guarantee. Or it might have been a Maker's Muse video. I don't know. I watch a lot of videos. No, I did not wipe the surface down with alcohol. I just tossed them on there. It could have been a llama video too. I know some people have been telling me to try Kiss Slicer as well. Yeah, I bet it does, Carl. But I'm going to admit, I never do anything right the first time. I will put things together without instructions. I will not read the manual. And then after something goes wrong, I will complain about it and then read the manual and be like, oh, I was supposed to do this. But that's the fun in everything to me. It's like when I was messing with the hot end and trying to get it to purposely creep so I could get the filament out of the heat break. Yeah, I just stuck my finger in the fan. Yeah, it worked. I mean, it's just easier. I'm sure there's a way to turn it off via the duet interface, but. And I think actually that may be why. No, there's no way all that heat went through the aluminum and everything. But my inset that holds the bolt in, that came loose. I was thinking that maybe heat creeped up it, but I don't think there's any way heat could have creeped up that much. Rose is a brat. Ow, come on. Stupid fingerprint scanner. Hey, what's up, Corey? I don't know what is online for today, to be honest. This is my first scheduled stream. And I didn't really organize anything. I did message a few people, 3D printing related companies, and I asked them if they wanted to join me tonight. And one said next weekend. Another one said he'd pop on in about 30 to 45 minutes. For about 30 to 45 minutes. And if I see him pop in, that'll be awesome. And then another one I didn't hear back from yet. By the way, Corey, somebody told me the other day, I think it was it Sean Butler? He brought up that you look like Ron Jeremy. Chris Freeze, you should definitely stream some ZBrush. I tried streaming some Photoshop the other day, and I just vastly embarrassed myself. It was not Sean Butler. I can't remember who it was. Better looking and more talented. No, I got the ZBrush trial, and I got my tablet, and I have not had time to even try to use ZBrush yet. I think I made some circles. And then whatever video I was watching, I completely forgot what I learned. If I don't do something repetitively, it completely slips my mind. This week I should have time, Chris, because once I get the UFOs out tomorrow, then I'll have some free time. Trying new filament by Gizmodorks. I have not had Gizmodorks in the UFOs yet. I should. I think I've contacted them. I know you messaged me the other day, and I'll be on. I think it's tight 3D. But when I first saw the image that you sent me, I was thinking female chesticles when I read it. I have not been saying I was shipping tomorrow for a week now. I said I'm going to try to get them out. I was going to try to get them out last Monday, but the filament didn't get here until Tuesday. And then I was going to try to get them out by Friday. But then my day job decided that they wanted to throw a bunch of work at me, so I couldn't get all the samples done in time. And then I probably could have got them out Saturday, but the post office closes by 11, and they're a small post office where I go to. So they asked me to please not bring the UFOs on Saturdays because they're understaffed. So I'm taking them tomorrow. Hey, what's up, Glenn? Long time no see. It's been a whole 32 minutes. Actually, more like 28 because y'all went overtime. Glenn, I need to text you, or if you want to text me, let me know if there's a preferred day this week that I can come stop by. Man, I haven't been to a Ren fair in like 2 years, Carl. Now you're teasing me. I need to go get a big stein of beer that I don't like drinking in a commemorative cup that I can stick on my shelf, and a giant turkey leg. That would be awesome, Chris Freeze. We should definitely do that. We can do that on StreamYard. I'm sure we can both be on there. You love micro beer? I don't like any beer. Unless it's like super, super hot and it's the only cold thing to drink. Or if I'm already buzzing pretty good. And I can tolerate the taste. Shipping Thursday. Who am I shipping her with, Fester? You totally lost me on that one, Chris. What the heck is Hefe? Babe, what are you oh-godding now? Did I get Shane's UI and brushes? No, the I downloaded his UI and brushes, but it's not compatible with the trial version of ZBrush. It's only compatible with the newest version of ZBrush, and the trial version is the old version of ZBrush, so they weren't compatible. Why are you not subbed, Fun King? Fun King 3D has just subscribed to me. Thank you so much, Glenn. You're an amazing man for taking the time out in your giant celebrity status to acknowledge a small guy like me. I am printing a part for Mike Whaley Memorial Maker Coin that is going to be given to his family at Earth. $5. I gotcha. I'll bring cash with me when I come visit this week. When you romanticize fictional characters together like Harry and Ron. Oh. You might need to. Though I'm sure Glenn has a way to charge me on his phone. Corey, I'll email them later and ask them about that, because it definitely should have been picked up by now. And the fact that they said it would be 2 weeks and then gave me a shipping number the next day, I'm sure you are correct in your assumptions that we talked about the other day. Kit, is that anywhere like mashing together two people who are dating's names? Yeah, they're not making me very happy either, because they want my business, but then they go and do that. Because I told them what I wanted. They're like, here's your invoice. Let me know when you pay it. You pay it, and then they're like, oh, while filling other orders, we ran out of a couple filaments. So it'll be 2 weeks before it's available, and that was not nice. Rosh to Josa. Oh my goodness. Neither one of those sound very cute, though. I like Rosalien. Jalen. Alienosa. Aliosa. Still like Rosalien better. Can we name our child Rosalien if we have a female? Another daughter. Yeah, I paid for the $20 a month version of StreamYard so I can put my logo up there. Otherwise, it shows the StreamYard logo. And I can also do cool things like put these little banners up, which I need to change the color of. I wish this was a WYSIWYG editor, so you could put like logos of the social networks. That's another thing I should tell them about. I'm waiting for Brian Vines to show up so I can do his little intro. I need to make intros for everybody who has a logo when I welcome people. Rosaline sounds good to you? See, that's what I'm talking about. There we go. Now, Rosa wants to have a boy. We got to come up with a male name mashup. So far, while I do like StreamYard as far as the community ability to add people easily to the chat, there's still a lot of features that I would like. Yeah, that's a no, Kit. That's a no. Yeah, I need to get a Stream Deck. Fun King said he was making one, and then he went out and bought one. He actually had a 3D printed one and running on his desk, and he went out and bought one. He caved. Speaking of Seth Rogen, have you guys seen The Boys on Amazon Prime yet? Yeah, I'm just giving you a hard time, Glenn. Stream Deck is basically a thing to where you can just push a button and it'll perform things on your stream to help you, like switching to another screen or layout on your screen, or turning on a camera, turning off a camera, playing sounds. But I want one to play sounds. Yeah, Joe Prince. I was actually contemplating making one with Arduino or some kind of USB keyboard or something. Secondary keyboard. I do want Neela, but you don't want another girl. What do you mean it's not going to happen? What if we do have another girl? Can't be like, oh, I want to return this one. It didn't come out the right sex. There's no refunds on that, babe. Your hot box is $20 to make. I could probably toss that together. Yeah, Carly. He wasn't wearing it. Yeah, I don't know much about Raspberry Pi. I know how to install Octoprint on it. Yeah, I don't think I could handle 3 girls in the house. Once it got to that certain, all 3 of you got to that certain age, and you're like, Daddy Josh is going out to the man cave for a week. I'll be back. Welcome back, Kit. Glad you made it home safe. No doubt, Ron. My grandmother had 4 boys and 2 girls, and there's a guy down the street. He has like 16 kids. They're mostly girls. I can't imagine somebody having that many children. Emmy is fun. And I like getting her to do things like throwing her gummy snakes against the walls. Just to drive Mama nuts. Though she didn't go get her Nerf gun today. I kept asking her to get her Nerf gun. I think Mama hid it from her. 3 dogs, 6 fish, 8 coral. Oh my goodness. Like actual, wait, corals as in coral reef or corals as in coral snakes? There's somebody in my Discord channel who has, they say they have millions of, what were they called? Curl tails? Bugs that they use to feed their other animals. Springtails, that's what they're called, springtails. Mac, Whiplock, and Zebo. Yeah, I don't think Rose is going to go for any of those. What's that robot's name from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy? And I actually watched that movie for the first time last week. The book is definitely way better. Living coral in a reef tank. That sounds awesome. I've heard saltwater tanks, though, can be a pain in the butt. I have 3 horses, a goat, a pig, 2 dogs, and probably 8 to 10 cats outside. Alf? Yeah, I don't think she'd let that one fly either. Marvin! That's it. That's a double. Marvin the robot, and then Marvin the Martian. I can name the pets. Mork from Ork. The original Marvin was featured in the movie in the Alien DMV scene. I don't remember. Kal-El, there we go. I don't think Rose is a huge Superman fan, though. Why am I not allowed to name the kids? Oh my goodness. Kal-El is the first name and Wayne is the middle name. Mix of Superman and Batman. Oh my goodness, the greatest American hero, yes. Believe it or not, I'm walking on air. Starbuck. Yeah, I think Rose is banning everybody from naming their son. I think I could print a life-size Stargate and have it assembled and bring it to Murph before Walter finishes his tiny one. Tiberium is kind of a cool word. See, I can't do any more large prints until I finish the giant alien. But if I can't talk any events to let me actually bring the whole thing, then I think I'm going to box it up until I have an office to put it in. I was really disappointed when Earth told me that I wasn't allowed to bring it. Because at Murph, everybody was like, oh yeah, Earth is bigger and Earth has more room and the ceilings are taller and you'll have no problem. And then when I contacted them, they were like, nope. I was like, okay. I guess I have to be a gold sponsor to get that much room. And by the time I could pay for a spot, all I could get was bronze. Yeah, Rosa's not a Star Trek fan, so I don't think she'd do a James T. Kirk. You can mount it on the roof. That is true. I don't know how well it'd hold up in the sunlight though. It's mostly PLA. I don't remember that robot's name. Aww. Emmy, you make my heart melt. Charles Nicholas, CNC. That'd definitely be a cool maker name. Tweaky. The robot. Yeah. I'm fairly certain Rose is done with all of y'all for coming up with names. Yeah, she used to like me too, Sean. Now I get multiple texts a day from her of her telling me she hates me. Hey, what's up, Jake from State Farm? You need a new maker name? Everybody knows you as Jake from State Farm now, though. You know, Avery is a pretty name. However, since they got those labels, Avery labels, Flo from Progressive. Go from Jake from State Farm to Flo from Progressive. Maker Matt, there you go. Yeah, I've always wanted a unique name for my children. Like Emmy's name, like Emily is kind of a common name. Well, I don't know how common, but the spelling of it is different. Leia. Yeah, it's spelled Emalee. Oh my goodness, Kit. Where do you get purple spandex outfit from? Oh, the Phantom. See, I never put that together because I always pictured you naming yourself Kit because of the fox. Isn't a fox cub called a Kit? Yeah, Rosa, surprise, surprise, is not much of a Star Wars fan either. Yeah, him. Isn't that a fox? Looks like a fox to me. Chris, I did not hear a knock on my door. Donde está my tacos? That's a squirrel? I mean, maybe it's a squirrel. It just it looks like a fox to me in the icon because it's like cutting off the big squirrel tail and stuff. Wesley Crusher, I will object to that one. Michael Fox, you didn't miss much. We're just after 59 minutes, we're still trying to come up with kid names. ¿No hablas español? Ay, caramba. I really think I need to start going to the doctor for my wrist. No one is allowed to name your child. ¿Qué pasa, mamacita? These are mostly wonderful names being suggested. I have a tiny little fox that likes to run in my driveway. He's about the size of a cat. You'll remember them all to not use them. Yeah, he's a cute little guy. He chills out in my driveway. I don't know why, because there's like 8 cats in my yard. But I think he's the one that ate my chickens. Maximus Decimus Meridius. Don't know where that one's from. Generis. I'm not sure that is that the correct spelling. The mother of dragons. I wonder how many people have named their children that since. I have no idea, Rosa. You'll have to watch the replay. That was from Gladiator. That's right. I haven't seen that movie in forever either. I have not watched the final season of Game of Thrones. I had a feeling it was going to be disappointing. Everybody's been waiting years and years and years and years for this epic ending, and I'm a spoiler kind of guy, so I already know everything that happens, but uh, I expected it to end differently. Game of Thrones is dead to you. I I could never get into Lost. Lost to me was just I don't know. I couldn't get into it. Yeah, I read all the books too, Sean. I actually I read them a long time ago, and then when I used to stream on Twitch, one of my followers sent me the box set of the 5 books, which was awesome. And years later, they're still not done, and I honestly don't think they're going to be done. It's going to be another thing like. Rosa's trying to give me baby fever now. She's sending me pictures of Emily when she was a tater tot. A tiny tater tot. A tiny tot. I'm going to give everybody baby fever now. Look at that tiny little tot. So adorable. That tiny little tot. The ending was mostly the way it had to be. I don't know. I don't want to spoil it for anybody who hasn't seen it and is planning on seeing it. But oh wait, hang on. I'm getting a message from my possible guest. So let's see, where is he? Ah, there he is. I don't see your camera though. Um, I've never done this before. So I don't know if he's. Ow, son of a biscuit. Um, okay. He does not have a camera, but maybe you guys can still hear him, I hope. Let's see. Stop talking about baby names for a moment, and I'm going to add No Man from Snow Labs. Seeing add him to the stream.
Can
Are
you
you
hear me
there,
now?
Noman? Yeah, I
Yeah,
can hear you.
perfect.
So everybody, welcome Noman from Snow Labs. If anybody has any questions, but let's start off. If you want to do a little intro or anything.
Hey guys, this is Noma from Snow Labs. Um, I don't know what to say. This is my second time live streaming, so it's a little
Oh,
weird
okay.
for me.
Well, I'll ask you a couple questions. How
Okay.
did you get into the filament business?
Honestly, it was a random conversation with one of my buddies.
Really?
Yeah. I realized he didn't know what he was talking about, so I started doing more and more research, and then I got into it.
Gotcha. Carl, this is Noman. He is. Are you the sole owner or are you a partnership?
Yes.
Okay,
Nope.
so he's the
Sole
owner
owner.
of Snow Labs, and so you just random conversation wanted to get into filament and did it, huh?
Yeah, for me, the biggest thing was to get more kids into 3D printing. How can we really change or impact the lives of the younger generations with
Yeah.
3DP? Like, I would have loved to have a printer when I was younger. I had so many
Right. Right.
ideas like written out. I still haven't made those ideas into realities, but we're doing filaments now.
Right. And I have noticed that you do donate a lot to schools. Um, so
I
that's really
try not to
awesome.
publicize that part.
Oh, I'm sorry. I should have kept my mouth shut on that one.
Oh
Um,
no, it's okay. I just don't like publicizing about the donations. It just takes away from the goodness.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. But I'm a little guy and I try to help other people out, and I don't do it for the publicity either. I just, do it to do it.
Hmm.
Um, but sometimes people need to be acknowledged for doing good things, and I know the people that I know you have donated from have been very thankful about it. So it's very awesome of you. So, do you have anything new coming out
Next week,
next
there's a
week?
possibility.
Uh
There's a new
oh,
red coming out.
a red.
Yep, it's been requested by my customers, so I've been working on it for a little while. I think I got it on. I hit the nail on the head. I guess we'll find out next week.
Awesome.
A few people are
And
going to get early access to it, but
okay.
late next week I should be posting it up.
And what's this I've been seeing on Twitter a lot lately? Everybody's posting penguins.
So at Murph, I had some extra penguins printed out for some kids coming by the table, or just random people just wanted some penguins.
Hmm.
I noticed a lot of people come into Murph or Earth or other events like these that are just trying to see what 3D printing is about. So I try to have a little something that's there for them as well, so they can take something home. And I ran out. I felt so bad about these kids not being able to take something home, so this time I asked for some help.
Yeah, I know. I came by your table because you've been a sponsor of mine with the UFOs. So I wanted to come introduce you, and you had a lot of them. But it doesn't surprise me how you run out because I ran out of maker coins and I had my sidewinder there and I just could not keep up.
Hmm. Yeah, so I think we're gonna have a little over 200 for everyone attending Earth. We'll see if there's. I have a lot more committed than 200, but I'm estimating that's how much we'll actually get. Supposed
Now,
to.
I hear through the rumor mill that more people come to Earth than Murph, so I hope 200's enough.
I hope so, but there's a lot more committed.
um, if you don't mind taking this question, I don't know if
It's imported.
it is imported.
At the
Okay,
moment, it is imported. Once I have the customer base, I'll be starting production in the States. But until I have
awesome.
the customer base to justify it, I'm holding off.
Knack, if it is your new, or Carl, if it is your new color, I'm gonna freak too because I special ordered it from somewhere else. um, let's see. Yeah, see, Sean comments, you don't like to publicize, but because now knowing you do, he's going to make you primary place to buy filament.
For schools and STEM programs, I usually just send them a private message and I have discounts for them.
Awesome.
So it's just a little bit easier for schools to get into it. A lot of budgets
Right,
don't really appropriate enough money for 3D printing.
right.
So I don't mind not making any money on their orders, but it's just to get them involved, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, yeah, I think Earth is going to be big this year too, Jake, from State Farm. Do you have any plans on doing anything more than filament?
It's a secret. There might be something on at Earth.
Oh, okay. So
We're
Earth
doing a
is
lot
going
of
to be a
R&D.
reveal.
Yep.
I've been told recently to ask you about Kiss Slicer.
Okay. What would you like to know?
You're a big proponent of Kiss Slicer.
Well, I noticed a lot of people try Kiss, but the GUI is pretty shitty, and I understand. Um, it looks like it's from the 90s. And Jonathan really needs to get some GUI guy on, but he doesn't want to. In any case, the G code slice by Kiss is fantastic, and that's why I've been using it for so long.
Now
But it's not for everyone. Jonathan
Jonathan's
is
a
a
friend of yours,
developer.
right?
I'm sorry?
Jonathan is a friend of yours, right?
Nope, I never met the guy. Never talked to
Oh,
him.
really?
Yeah.
Somebody told me the other day that you guys were buddies.
No, but I have a direct link to him through Hackney,
Oh,
Michael
okay.
Hackney.
Gotcha. See,
Um, I know he'd never really made a manual, or he never really explained any of the features and how they work. So I literally just sat there for a couple nights and listed every single feature. There were a few things I didn't know, so I just marked it as I did not know.
so does he have like a wiki or something that you?
He does not, so that's why it's on the blog.
Oh, it's on the blog. Okay,
Yep.
gotcha.
I also just posted something new about tuning materials. Um, just like a brief guide on how to get perfect prints. Doesn't matter what brand, what manufacturer, just the general process of how I tune my prints. It could be of use to other people, and I'm always open to feedback. I am still pretty new to the blog and live stream uh, pages, so any feedback is appreciated.
Yeah, I know. I Matt Weber. He swears by Kiss Slicer. He says he gets the best prints from any slicer he's used from it, but that it looks like it's from like Windows 95 or Windows 98.
I agree completely. See, I realize that he spends most of his time on the actual optimization of cheat code rather than making it look pretty.
Right,
That's what I care more about anyway. I mean, it would be nice to make it look pretty to get more people into it, but um, it takes a little bit of, like Liquid Dirt 3D just said, it takes a little bit of playing around to get used to the interface.
right.
But now it's just like, okay, cool.
Let's see. Does anybody else have any questions for Snow Labs? Even though all of his stuff has been top secret so far. But yeah, I was just trying. This is my first scheduled stream, so I was like, let me ask a few people that I talk to on a weekly basis usually, and see if they want to pop in just to say hey.
I have two custom deltas from Ultibots, but they're out of business now. Hey, guy got a new job. Those are pretty great. I also have a CNC Artemis and a Formlabs Form 2. I can make custom colors, yes. Depends on what you would like. So usually what I do is customers will come up to me and be like, "Hey, I would like X, Y, and Z color," but they usually want one or two rolls. So I can't really do a whole batch. So what I'll do is I'll put it on the list and then just like survey some of the customers to see what they would like to see next from Snow, and
Yeah,
then I'll go with that.
I was gonna do a follow up question to that. Do you have a minimum order quantity for custom colors?
Depends on the request. It's
Okay.
specific to the request.
Because I've been I've spoken to you and other companies about custom colors, and one company had a minimum of 300 rolls, and I'm like, yeah, I'm having trouble selling 80 rolls. What am I gonna do with 300 if they don't sell?
Yeah, it gets a little difficult, but the minimums I do are usually like 48 rolls.
That's not bad.
Um, it's reasonable, but it's not for, let's say, an end customer.
Yeah, I mean my very first batch of alien ooze, I believe, was 48, and my second batch was 60.
Hmm.
So it's definitely one of those things. I mean, filament's a dangerous game to get into because there's, like we were talking about in a stream last night, it seems like filament is a saturated market, and there's just too much to choose from. So it's like, how do you compete?
Uh, I mean, for me, it's more about like what kind of company would I want to buy from? And I try to be that company. Um, I mean, you have your choice of filament makers and suppliers. You can go anywhere. There's over 100. I think Graybeard has a list.
Right,
It's who do you want to support at the end of the day.
right,
You can get really good quality filament at around my pricing and a little bit higher. Um, but overall, it's going to be around the same pricing, more or less, give or take a few dollars. But who do you want to support?
right. The fluorescent brown again. Oh my goodness. Fluorescent brown with sparkles. Get it right.
I'll put it
Um,
on the list. Can't promise anything.
well, we were in a live chat last night, and somebody brought it up. They called it Everescence poop stain brown with sparkles. I can't remember who wants it, but
They're going to be waiting a little while. So here's a thought.
hmm
So based on the Earth Penguin submissions and how people were willing to print for me, I ran an idea by them. So my sister runs something called Project Smile at our local school, where they take toys to local hospitals, um, for like basically like kids for tots or toys for tots.
Right, right.
Um, so I'm thinking about doing something similar with the penguins, where I would take in submissions for printed penguins and I would hand it off to all the New York City hospitals since they're right by me and I know a lot of people there.
I am sure the community would get behind that because I believe Sean, when he worked for IC3D, he headed up something like that to do like a Toys for Tots type thing.
Uh-huh.
Um, So I guarantee if you post something like that, a lot of people in the community would get behind it.
Okay.
I would definitely print as many as I could.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure how to structure it. The idea came around like 4 to 5 days ago. The ones that are helping me print, they already know about it, and they're like, "Yeah, go for it." So I'm trying to figure out how to perfectly
Well, if I remember
set it up.
correctly,
Yep.
the people who are currently printing your penguins, you kind of did a trade deal with them to send them Snow Labs filament as well. Correct?
They correct. So I sent them some free filament and a water bottle and a couple coupon codes.
I want a water bottle. Where's my water bottle?
It'll be shipping out tomorrow.
um, Now, instead of doing a filament trade, and if you just wanted donations, would you be okay with receiving penguins that were not printed in Snow Labs filament?
Of course. This
Okay.
isn't about Snow Labs, for me at least. This is
Right.
more about using 3D printing to inspire kids. Because when you're giving out like a articulated penguin, you're showing them what 3D printing can do,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a super cool toy. I've never seen a kid like more ecstatic about a penguin. Rather like since I've been giving them out for so long.
Right.
Um, I'm thinking it'll have two benefits. One, it's great charity work for the kids. It makes them feel good that someone's stopping by to check in on them.
Right.
Because a lot of these programs, the kids will literally sit there and talk to them when they're dropping off the toys. So it's not really just a drop-off service. And then the second thing is you can use the penguin as like a talking point to get more people interested about 3D printing.
Well, there's definitely people in chat who are interested. So if you decide on how you want to handle that, I'm sure a lot of us will be prom- love to promote it. Um, oh.
RCCNC. I do I have a version of carbon fiber PETG, but once the PC Plus version came out, I took it off the market only because the PC Plus blows it out of the water. I do
Really?
have a 25% off coupon for first-time users of PC because I know a lot of people are a little intimidated by starting or trying out PC Plus. Um, that way you can try it out at a discount. My basic suggestion to everyone is like, hey, just try it out. If you don't like it or if you need help, reach out to me and then I'll help you out from there. But if you don't like it at all, then that's on you. That's up to you. Like, I'm not gonna force you to like, this is the best stuff. You go try this out. You don't need anything else. You have to try it yourself. Everyone has different needs. There's different strengths of each material. For me, all my printer parts are out of PC Plus.
Now is PC Plus? What's the temperatures and is a hardened nozzle needed?
For the carbon fiber version, a hardened nozzle is needed. But for the regular PC Plus or not non-filled PC Plus, it is not needed.
And do you need a larger
Temperature-wise,
nozzle than a point 0.4?
I have had people printing with a point 0.2 nozzle.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Um, with temperature-wise, it's around PETG temperature, so like 250 over 50 on PEI. Um, for beds, it varies a little based on what you're using for your substrate. So if it's like a Wham Bam, it's 90C. If it's PVA glue, it's like around 80. With a freshly sanded PEI surface, I usually print around 55. No problem. Speed is a problem. So for example, like I'll max it out at 50 millimeters per second. And the other thing is PC Plus does absorb moisture. So if it's not in use, I would put it in a Mylar bag or some sort of dry box.
Okay.
Plain glass PVA glue. would be your best bet. Main differences, plain PC runs at like 300 plus temperature wise. PC Plus makes it a lot more reliable to use and print. It's much easier to work with overall. Um, just trying to go through the comments as I'm
Yeah,
talking.
I'm trying to keep up like this. Once I get a ton of people, because I'm gonna be super famous, and there's gonna be hundreds of people in here one day. I don't know how I'm gonna keep up, but what's up,
Nothing.
Minnesota Maker?
uh,
What was that? Aw, thank you, Matt. So while he's typing out his answers, um, yeah, I've actually been working with Snow Labs. I think this I've used you in the UFOs 3 times now, haven't I?
Two or three, yeah.
2 or 3 times now, and they'll be in again probably soon. Especially if his new color's coming out next week, maybe I can buy some rolls from him. Because October's coming up and I need a good red color. Yeah, Sean, Snow Labs is actually one of the companies I was going to talk to about what you and I had talked to about.
Any more flexibles? At the moment, it's based on what customers want. At the moment, I don't really have too much interest in flexibles, so TPU um, is the only one that I really have, and I only have it in black. For wood fills, there's PLA wood fill, and that's the only one at the moment. Again, it's based on what customers ask me to bring into the market. I'm not going to recreate something that's another manufacturer or another reputable manufacturer has. There's no real point.
Right.
If my customers ask for something specific, yeah, sure, no problem. But if it's just like a one-off, I would just tell you to go to them.
Yeah, that's one thing. If I ever get into filament manufacturing, I want to only do unique and crazy colors.
I think I've gotten most of the colors, or most of the standard colors.
You don't have swirl. I want to come out with a swirl. It's probably going to be impossible, but I'm going to try it.
Uh, let's see, I would focus on
So that code right there, that is 25% off the PC Plus.
that is 25% off. Um, yeah, but if you guys want to try it out, that's the code. It is 25% off. If you have any problems, I am here. I regularly look at how come your channel doesn't have a link? I didn't realize I have a channel. Um, what's it called? So what I usually do is like a customer will reach out and I'll review their G code and just tell them like, hey, this is what I think is wrong. So same thing with the PC Plus. With the PC Plus, I do ask people to reach out to me first, only because only or so that way they have a point of contact, so they can talk. They can just reach out, be like, hey, what's going on? Usually it's there's Z offset is not correct, or if there's a draft.
So it's definitely an enclosure preferred.
Nope. I
No?
printed on my open deltas. It's just that you can't have like an AC right next to it.
Okay.
Like don't have a draft by your printer area. Other than that, it's no problem. And I always recommend like having some sort of ventilation. Yes, it is hygroscopic. Um, I can, in about 40% humidity, I leave it out for 3 or 4 days. After that, I have to dry it out for 3 hours at 141 Fahrenheit. But after the drying process, it's fine. Okay, so here's a hint at what's coming out Earth. I'm working on a solution you will not have to dry it out. It's an inline solution, um, no heat involved. I think that's all I can reveal for now.
An inline solution and no heat involved. That sounds interesting. Did you
Yes.
see when we were at Murph, did you see the guys who were running the filament through a fish tank?
Yeah, that's not what we're worried about.
Okay. Okay.
I took a scientific-based approach, tested out my theory. We're in R&D, uh, making it work.
That
So
sounds really cool.
if it does work out, I want to get at least 30 to 40 days of testing
Mhm.
before I release it or release any information on it.
Right. That
And
sounds really cool.
I'm not going to reveal any more information about it. But
Yeah,
if
that
you're at Earth, you'll get to see it in person.
hey, everybody at Earth, make sure you stop by Snow Lab's booth and ask about the no heat filament drying top secret project.
Next color.
People are asking, it's not Dry, is it?
No, no. If it's something's branding, it's gonna go under my branding. Um, no, I just want to make sure it works in mass quantity and over time. So it's not
Right,
something that just works for like 20 minutes. I need
right.
something I need something reliable for the everyday consumer. So it's going to be interesting to see. If there is interest, then we'll take it to market. But at the moment, it's just R&D until Earth or R&D.
Um,
Yep.
I don't know if you'll be able to answer this question, but you know, most everybody is a home tinkerer and they're always trying to find cheap solutions. So,
Nope.
what are you looking at for pricing on this?
Around 150.
Okay.
So it is a little pricey. Just a lot of the components are pretty really expensive. Um, so it just adds up. So this,
I don't know. I don't know if Rose is gonna go for that one, but yeah, right before
well,
you got here for like 30 minutes, we were talking about naming my and Rose's future child.
um, where was I? Price point wise, I'm thinking around 150. Um, it might reduce or it'll be around that price. I really want to see at Earth if there is interest. If there is interest, we'll do like a Kickstarter, see if there's real interest. Um, and then we'll go from there. If all goes
Okay,
well, we'll start shipping out in January.
that's cool. Now there seems to be like not a ton of people in here, but 25 people. What do you guys? There a lot of 3D printing companies lately are doing the Kickstarter thing. Um, what do you guys who are watching think about Kickstarter 3D printing related projects or products?
Um, for me, like, or for us, like, I sort of need to do the Kickstarter only because if I do low quantity, it's going to increase that price. To reduce
Oh
the price
yeah,
further, I need to do a Kickstarter for sure. Because
yeah, I
people's,
fully understand that.
so like, someone, maybe like 1 out of 10 people actually commit to the purchase. Like, hey, yeah, sure, I would love one. But when it comes down to paying for it, um, no one really follows through. I do agree. That's why we're trying to do all the research and development beforehand. I do have a working model in front of me. Um, but I want to do some more testing over time to ensure it works well. So that's why we're delaying it till Earth to debut it.
No, I'm sure a lot of people appreciate that level of research and quality before you just. Now I know you said you were good till about 7:35. It's
It's fine.
past that now. So,
Is there anything else you guys want me to cover?
anybody else have any last minute questions? Because I kind of interrupted him in the middle of personal time. So,
For the penguin, that was all Luby. I contacted her for an idea, and I told her to run with it. She's an artist. I believe it's just when you ask an artist to do something, they already have something in mind, and you have to let them run with it. So this was hers.
yeah, absolutely.
Sadly, QC. I agree with Sean. QC is very important, and you can't slack off just because you're hitting uh, hitting some numbers. And Brian,
The
I'm not
the
answering any
yeah
questions.
the questions about specifics are will be revealed at Earth. Have to wait for that one. It sounds like a lot of
Everyone,
people are really
everyone.
curious about it, though.
Well, we figured there's another engineer that's working with me on the design.
Hmm.
Um, so we spent about 4 months so far in development. I think we're on our 100 and something version of it.
Wow, you've done 100 versions in 4 months.
I work a lot of nights. I don't get sleep. Uh, A2
Wow.
nozzle. I love it. That's why I started carrying the P3D nozzles. They come coated. I usually put on a little bit of Brasso, based on Michael Hackney's tutorial on polishing nozzles. For me, they usually last around a year. That's when I start replacing them, or if I'm just stopping at the hot end, I'll just replace the nozzle then.
Now, is an
Uh,
A2 a hardened nozzle or?
yes, A2 steel. It's they call it Duracoating. It's nickel-plated nozzles. I've been using them for a few years now. I love the product, so I asked them like, "Hey, can I stock a few?" A little pricey, but reasonable based on like how long they last. I
Hmm.
also use their heat breaks. Also love them. Let's see. I think we're good.
Yeah, I think that's all the questions. So, very, very much appreciate you stopping by and taking the time out of your Sunday evening.
It's okay. For if we do this another time, just have like a list of like topics so we're not like going all over the place.
Yeah, this
It's a
this is
little weird.
my first live stream, my first time ever having
Okay.
guests. I am completely unprepared. I was just like, hey, let me see if anybody wants to stop by.
Yeah, I wasn't sure what to expect or what to even cover. I'm like, All right, I guess I'll show up. We'll go from there.
Awesome, awesome. Well, thank you again so much, and we will be talking soon.
One last comment. Sean, you
Okay.
gotta actually try the material first. Make sure you like it.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right,
Well,
have a good night,
Sean,
guys.
have a
Yep.
good one. Thank you. I need a better manager. Why do I need a better manager? Like, Rosie, you're not even into 3D printing, so you wouldn't know what to ask people. This is more informal thing. I will get more formal. It's a learning experience for me. Yes, Justin 3D. I am shipping on Monday. Tucky Dad, not sure if you're still watching. I have spoken to them, but not about custom colors. So I will ask about that. Hey, Devin. Hello, Greg's Maker Corner. I'm sure I missed a lot of people coming in uh, while Noman was here. So I apologize if I missed you. Don't listen to her. There's no behaving. This is Alien After Dark. It's the end of the week. Monday's coming. It's party time. Let's see. And again, anybody watching, if you would like to join me in this stream and just, talk about anything and everything 3D printing related or creative maker related, let me know and I will happily send you a link to join me. You just found UFO boxes you still haven't used. It's surprising to me how many people have told me that they are continuing to get the UFO boxes, but they never use the samples. And like for months, I mean, people get the UFO box and then don't actually use any of the samples, and it boggles my mind that people would stay subscribed. Don't get me wrong, I absolutely appreciate everybody who subscribes. Uh, yeah, I do have a box without samples now. That's just the project and the accessory. So for those who are getting overloaded with samples and just want the project and accessory, I've got that available now on the site. If you don't want the project and accessory, I do have a filament only box as well. So let's see if this. Now, I was not thinking when I started printing this. This is PETG PEI, and people always tell me that PETG fuses with PEI, and so I just want to say that it did not fuse. And that came out really nice. Any hints on making sure the samples don't tangle? That is an excellent question. One that I will be solving very soon. If you follow me on Twitter, I've made a few posts on it. Um, but as of right now, I'll be completely honest with you. Let me grab a sample right quick that I haven't bagged yet. When I take the samples off my spooler, um, it can be confusing to which end is the center and which one is the outer. If you take this little thing and you push it up that way, and the actual outer zip strip is away from you, then the end on your left hand side is the outer end. From here, what I usually do, I stick it on a metal pole, I stick it here, and then I print directly from there. The samples are small enough to where the majority of the time they will untangle themselves as they print. Because if it's smooth enough to roll, generally they untangle themselves as they print. By the way, spoiler alert. Sorry I didn't say that beforehand. But that's what I do. And every single month I print the little aliens with an actual sample that I've made. And that's been the easiest for me. Yes, that was PEI. And yes, that was PETG filament. Yeah, I think I agree with you, Jake from State Farm. The whole fusing because the nozzle's too close. I've my power just flickered. Good thing I'm on the UPS. That one that I showed you, it is a silk. Well, here's the thing. I have a bed surface that is. I love the company. I loved the surface for a while, and I don't want to talk bad about any company that I work with, but I will always try to be honest and open. And the surface after a month of use started flaking off, and I'm getting sent a replacement. And I was told it was because I was using PETG, and but I only print in PLA and PETG, occasionally ABS, and if I want to use a surface, it's gonna have to handle all of those. My wait. I'm getting chewed out for telling you guys not to listen to Rosa. Um, but no, it is not Snow Labs Fool's Gold Silk. You guys got the Alchemist Gold in the June box. I believe you guys got. So I wouldn't follow up with the Fool's Gold only a couple months after. Is it possible to get a one-time super sample box? Super sample as in more than 20 meters? Yeah, this PEI sheet is from TH3D, and on the opposite side is their Easy Mat. I'm still, I like the Easy Mat. Things stick to it too good, so I'm still experimenting with it. Because things have been sticking too good to it and they've been tearing up. I think I have a spot on the Easy Mat that I ripped off, and I see something shiny underneath it. But it's just a tiny pinhole, so I'm going to ignore it for now. Yeah, it hasn't lost adhesion yet. It's stuff sticking too good, and I haven't got the layer right yet. Because I know if you go too high, it won't stick good enough. If you go too low, it sticks. I do kill build surfaces. If you ever are really, really bored and want to go through my timeline for the last year and a half, I kill the first version of every bed surface I've ever used. On my very first printer, I put a build tack on it, and within 10 minutes, I destroyed it. Because I can't remember what I did, but it printed in a circle and dug down into my bed. Not only did I destroy I can't remember. I remember I had just switched a nozzle, and the nozzle was different size than the nozzle that was on there, and I didn't do the offset, and so it dug a circle not only through the build tack but into the aluminum bed as well. And then I got, what did I get after that? I got my print bite. A lot of my old prints, you'll see this zigzag circle on the bottom of it. I was printing out, what are they called? Those bearings. I don't remember, but those oilless bearings that just slide. No, to replace the bearings on the printer. Having a brain fart. Anyways, but they were a bearing replacement, and that could just slide. Yeah, the IGUS bearings. But they were 3D printable version, and so I was messing with my the nuts on my BL Touch, and I didn't run the bud level code, and so it did that little zigzag circle as it was printing the bearing. So that didn't completely destroy that. I absolutely loved that printing surface. I'm sad that I can't get them anymore. Let's see. The WAM surface I destroyed. So far I have not destroyed the PEI sheet, but I am doing evil things to the Easy Mat. And Why is that bed still so hot? Oh my goodness. I shouldn't have put that back up there. Yeah, the dryland bearings, not the 608s. So I don't know. I should seriously run every 3D printing surface test through the Alien 3D destroying process to see which ones still work the best. I really like that gyroid infill from the side. Really good print. A little bit of strings here. The only thing is, I'm pretty sure, and I could be mistaken, but aren't these holes supposed to be circles? They look elongated. I'm gonna have to measure this part and see if I got shrinkage or what's going on there. Maybe I did something wrong. Yeah, I know somebody did some translucent, I think it was in a blue color, and I had people from other companies coming over and asking me what pattern there was. Um, oh, shush, techie dad. I actually only claimed one. This is my only coin print for that. And I'm going to send it out tomorrow to Ryan. But I'm waiting to hear back from him um, because I printed it in PETG, and I want to know if I need to reprint it in PLA, which I will be more than happy to do. My Railcore has the Mosquito hot end. This is a special Alien 3D version that I sell on my website. It has Alien 3D engraved into the bottom. And I specifically picked upgrades for the parts for the printer. And it comes, when you order it, the parts come in my Alien ooze, as you can see up here, instead of Project Red's Atomic Red. The lightsaber blade in probed or ooze would be awesome. Yeah, Chris Galata actually bought one of my versions of the Railcore. Yeah, they did say PLA, and I saw that after I had already started printing this because I was looking for the address to send it to. But either way, I have no problem reprinting it. I have not had any more clogs since I added the oiler. However, the same time I added the oiler, I also reduced retraction to 0.8. So I cannot guarantee which one of those was the working things, and it could be. I should print both. Just heard a weird noise. I think it's pouring down rain outside. Yep, and now I hear the thunder, so it's definitely pouring down rain outside. And my power may go out, but if it does, I should be okay because I'm on a UPS. Tell them you want to play a game. Send both of them, yeah. Like you got to pick which one you can use. I honestly I don't think Oilers are so last year. I've heard for the last couple years, since I got into 3D printing, that oilers, if you use a all metal hot end, an oiler is pretty much a must. Yeah, Sean, I completely understand. Welcome back, baby. And if anybody wants to order a rail core but leave out some parts, like Chris Galata already had a mosquito odd end, he already had the WAM system, and I think he already had something else. I can custom order cheaper versions if you want to take parts off of it that you may already have, or if you want to use a different nozzle or whatever. Never change two things at once. Yeah, I know, but pretty much I needed to reduce the retraction anyways, and I also needed to add an oiler. So I'm sure the combination of both of them helped. You use a filter with a sponge. Yeah, I've heard that too. I actually have a microfiber cloth inside my oiler. Season the hot end, yeah. Chris Riley told me he actually only oils his uh, every so often. Once he starts having problems with it, he'll like oil it and then not oil it again until he starts having problems again. Me personally, I just don't want that until I start having problems again. I just don't want problems anymore. So I just figured I'd leave it on there. You've never used an oiler on your Prusa yet? Yeah, Prusas come with all metal hot ends, don't they? Any word from 3D Fused on that ANET Y sled? I will ask him again about it. Actually, he will be on here next Sunday. I know he just did a show somewhere in the last week or two, so I know he's probably been busy. And now he's trying to get things ready for Earth. I was supposed to send him a roll of probed green last week, and he messaged me. He's like, so I'm waiting to build your printer. Do you have that probed out to me yet? So I need to send him a roll of probe tomorrow because he's going to do an Alien 3D probed version of the Creatos printer that I will show off at Earth next to this boy. I'll have both of them there. Wait, I'll lose what? What will I lose? No, the only thing, even with the oiler, and it's really odd because the Tallman T glass. Yes, please remind me, babe. The Tallman T glass, I printed the water for the uh, keep, the Vortex keep, on the rail core, and it printed the whole thing. Now, when I, even with the oiler, now when I run the T glass through it, even with the oiler, it clogs up the heat break. So I'm thinking maybe it got waterlogged. I don't know how hypo, whatever the word is. The Chris Riley is a 3D printing god. Yes, he is. If you could find an ANET for cheap, you want to do a Core A8 conversion kit. I have an ANET A8. It needs a new control board, but you are welcome to have it. I also have an AM8 that could use a little TLC. It works, but I think either the hotbed would not keep a temp above 70 C or the hot end would not keep a temp above 230 C, one of the two. But you are more than welcome to it as well. And it's the whole AM8 conversion. But currently they're both sitting in my kitchen on the floor because I moved them out of here when I redid my bedroom. The eSun filament dryers. Now, is that a dryer or is that one of the boxes that has a heater in it? Yes, and anybody who wants to join me live on chat to take questions, to talk to BS, whatever, let me know. I will message you the link to join me. Turn it into a spool winder. I actually have a motor that once I send out the UFOs tomorrow, I am going to build a new winder that I can make multiple samples at one time. And hopefully I can get all the samples done in a couple days versus a couple weeks like it usually takes me. Mainly because my day job gets in the way. Your ANET E16 gives you problems? Joe Prince, it's all good. I knew what you meant. See, I have an idea for a kit for a single roll holder with a heater in it with it's an acrylic box. And I've been contemplating whether just to put it up as, a instructable type thing or to actually sell them. Okay, yeah, that's a good idea, Corey. So those of you who are UFO subscribers, I was thinking of an idea the other day. Because as some of you know, I'm going to start putting the samples on HIPS dissolvable spools and sending out the samples like that. And an idea I came up with the other day was to create a spool that basically is one side of this. And they all connect together, and then you put a wall on the outside so that all 4 samples come on one spool that could be taken apart theoretically to make them individual spools. But would you guys like if all 4 samples came on a single spool with dividers? Or do you prefer them all on their own individual little spool? Yeah, pretty much, Greg. Like, kind of like, I mean, not to, rip off Rep's idea because Pooch is a friend of mine. And I was just thinking I wanted, because like all my spools that are sitting out right now, that are not in bags in the humidity of Florida is not a good idea. So I have been on the side designing a single spool acrylic box with a heater in it, and possibly, it doesn't have to have a heater. Maybe I do two versions, one with a heater and one without, that just, has a desiccant packet holder. So Chris and Devin say individuals. How am I going to print all those spools? Well, I have 6 Ender 3s on order. Michael Fox says separate spools. Okay. So, individual it is. But yeah, I have 6 Ender 3s on order, and Liquidirt 3D has a lot of printers that he also said he would assist in printing rolls. Sean Butler came up with the idea if people would print the spools and send them in to me, I could give them a discount off the UFOs. But I have to really run the numbers on those. You're going to change the project box? No problem. Yeah, Matt, that was kind of the idea, doing a single spool with dividers that can come apart, that you could just, picture, if you will, this spool having another side here that you could take apart and slap another wall on, to use them as individual. But those would be like, the extra wall would have to be something that you provide yourself, while you're doing, or you'd have extra from the previous spools that you don't dissolve. I did do a temp humidity sensor kit. And yes, I probably could stick it next to my spools. But yeah, I'm starting a print farm, and subscribers sending them back when they're done with them. That is another awesome idea, Devin. I am going to be printing them in hips, though, so they will be dissolvable with lemon juice. But sending spools back to me, that is another idea I had not looked into yet. The QC, though, I'm not sure, as long as the two parts snap together and hold together, that's all the QC I care about, really. I don't care if the Alien 3D text doesn't come out right or doesn't show at all. As long as it'll hold together so that I can spool them, I'm happy. He used a hot end and a thermistor for his electronics, but it didn't work very good. Well, here's the thing, Greg. If you, what's his name? Having another brain fart. The guy that Richard, the guy behind the Master Spool concept, he has a YouTube video, and basically he uses uh, a warmer mat for reptiles, and a self temperature controlling. Corey, there's one thing I didn't specifically mention to you, but hope you saw in the files that I sent you for this. The overlapping core is almost a must. I'm not sure if I told you that or if you did that or not. Could I make my box pop apart to be a spool? If I was making my own boxes, yes. But I'm not making my own boxes. Allow people to put their own made by on it. That would be cool too. A cheap PCB heat bed. I'm not sure how cheap you could get a PCB heat bed. I know the lizard heaters are super cheap and they self-control the temp. The 4 cutouts and the core, yes. A manual injection machine and have one mold CNC, then you could make one every 10 minutes with failed filament ground up. That is another idea, but I would not do it with failed filament. Even though, yes, it would recycle my failed filament, which I absolutely have a ton of. I could also use up the extra pieces of filament that do not make up full samples that I occasionally end up with on filaments. But they wouldn't be recyclable for the people I'm sending them to, and which is why I am using a hip, or not hips, yeah, hips, so that people can dissolve them, or if their local recycling center supports recycling of hips, they can drop them off there. Um, but I don't want to do PLA or PETG spools in every box every month, because that's contributing to the problem versus solving the problem. Um, and at least if they're dissolvable or recyclable, then the potential is there to them not end up in a landfill. PLA is biodegradable. However, if it ends up in a landfill where the sun cannot hit it, just like with any other plastic bag, and don't get me wrong, I am not in a million years ever going to say that I am a green person, or as some people would call a tree hugger, or whatever term is politically correct. I'm not. However, I do acknowledge that I have about 1,500 empty rolls of spools that I currently do not know what to do with, because I cannot take them to my recycling center. They will not accept them. But I have between 1,500 and 2,000 empty spools right now that I keep boxing up and sticking in my shed. I have a future plan for them, but not right. Send you a link. You'll jump in now. Oh, okay, llama. Llama, do I have you on the Twitter? This, I do not like the new. How do I search on the new version of? Oh, there it is. The Twitter, the verse. Um, can I mess? No, I can't. Okay. Why is searching for 3D printing llama not coming up? Are you not on there as the llama? You just messaged me? That makes things easier. Yeah, as Corey said, PLA is only biodegradable in certain circumstances. Maybe something you can order or include with your order. You'd buy for it. What do you, Greg? What are you talking about? The heaters or my kit for the spooler thingy? There is the llama. Welcome, Tom.
I'm headless. And I'm over it.
You're over it. Hey, hey.
Been a long day. Been a long, long day. Been a long day.
Well, the part of the day after the long day is always the best part of the day.
I'll tell you what, we have had like the best weather the last 2 days here ever. As long as I can remember, it was like 75 degrees with like 35% humidity. It's almost too dry.
Wow.
It was just really, really nice. And it all ends tomorrow. It goes back to being hot and humid and miserable again. But it was nice for the weekend. The weekend was very, very nice.
Yeah,
nice.
I don't think I've been outside in 2 days. I don't want to experience the heat and humidity of Florida right now.
I try not to run air conditioning. It bothers my everything. But
yeah,
I sweat too much.
I have a UV air filter in my room too, so
it just bothers everything. I just don't like it. It's noisy. It's obnoxious.
Greg, the sample spools that I've been talking about, they're all the samples for my UFOs are going to start coming in.
I am in Connecticut, Greg.
Oh, that remind me, babe.
Right.
What do you? No, I already know she calls them subs. When you were talking about grinders last night, I was gonna ask Rosa about what grinders, but I forgot she calls them subs.
Yeah, most people call them subs. Connecticut and some areas of Rhode Island call them grinders. We pretty much call them subs now, anyways, because ever since Subway came around. But until then, if you said I'd go into a pizza place and say I want a sub, they'd be like, "You want a what?"
Yeah, I always thought grinders were like mini hamburger or mini sandwiches. That's what I thought grinders were.
Are 2 foot long.
Oh, wow.
That's a true grinder. You used to get a 2 foot tuna fish sandwich for $5.
I like tuna.
I do too on occasion. Every once in a while, it's like, you know what I forgot to get? Well, I got coffee. I'll drink coffee.
Here's a question from Devin. What's the story behind being named the 3D printing llama?
You ready for all this? My last name is Lamarine, which immediately goes to lammy, lamb chops, llama, lammy, lambs. I have 4 older brothers. So by the time I got into high school and everyone's getting their nickname, Lammy, Lamb Chop, all of those were long gone. So me and one of my good friends were out in the smoking area because back when I went to high school, we had smoking areas. We were smoking stuff. And he's like, I can't call you Lammy and Lamb Chops and Lammy Pie and all that because they're all taken. And he's just writing on the wall of a brand new school. The school was built like 6 months before that. So here he is writing with a Sharpie on the wall, llama or lammy, lamb chops. And then just baked out of his mind, he goes, llama.
Llama.
And it just stuck ever since.
Yeah, every time I see your name, I think of Winamp, the theme. Winamp, it really whips the llama's ass.
Never saw that.
Really? You've never used Winamp? It used to be a popular MP3 player and audio player.
Yeah, but I use Mac, so
oh,
I know what Winamp is, but I never used it.
Probably a PC thing then.
I mean, I use PCs. I've always had both side by sides.
Right.
But by choice, I'll take a Mac over a PC any day of the week, even though the hardware's slower, and it is. And honestly, if I have to replace this is actually Brian Vines. He gave me this computer.
I think you were talking about that last night. Yeah,
because he had one in the closet that was newer than mine. And he's like, dude, it's just sitting in my closet. You want it? I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, Brian's a cool guy like that.
It's still like a 2012 or 2013 Mac Mini. But honestly, that's just it. With the Macs, the Mac OS, you don't need the latest. I do everything on it. I do video editing. I run Final Cut Pro on this thing. Yeah,
Right.
there's times it dogs and the little beach ball comes up and spins, but the hell? I mean, it's not a brand new computer.
How upgradable are Macs, though? Can you crack it open and replace the graphics card?
You can't even do the memory in most of them now. Now, the brand new one that just came out like 2 weeks ago, the new Mac Pro, that is completely upgradable. Like the old, I don't know if you ever saw the big aluminum Mac Pro. That big, huge aluminum thing.
I've never been a Mac fan.
They come back to that. And that's what's good is even their video card, they have a proprietary video card, but it's in a standard PCI slot. And you can yank it out, and you can put a regular PCI video card in there, and it'll work. See, the thing is Macs used to be cutting edge, and that's when I got into them. It's like dual screens. You use dual screens, and it's like a big deal on Windows. You realize Mac's been doing that since the beginning of time? Every Mac ever made has been able to do dual and actually triple screens with no setup. You plug them in and it just goes, oh, would you like to use all 3 screens? Yes. No setup, no initializing, no changing cards, they just do it.
They had the ports to do that?
Yeah. They do it whatever you plugged into it. However you plugged it into it. It would sense it and say, okay, you have extra monitors. I still have and that's the other thing, they just last forever. I still have an old Mac G4 out in the garage that runs perfectly, other than, it is 2019, so turning it on and going making a pot of coffee and drinking the pot of coffee and then coming back and it might be started up is kind of annoying nowadays. There's nothing wrong with it.
Have a good night, Carl. Thank you so much for coming in.
Carl's out of here. Hey, Carl, when's the White Knight going to be done?
White Knight Jr., the Squire.
It's the running joke, if you didn't know. It's like everyone keeps asking him when it's going to be done. And
like
he's like, go away. Leave me alone.
Fun King and his FK1.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, I run side by side both. Macs used to be a better hardware. They're not anymore. I will 100% agree. Ever since like 2010, they've just gone downhill in the hardware, but the OS is so much better and more stable, and I don't have problems with it. It just, you know what my big key was? I actually used to work for a mortgage company that I finally convinced to run, because I did advertising for them. and they were buying a whole boatload of PCs. And the lady there's like, you like your little Macs, don't you? Because she actually bought me a Mac when I started working for her, because I told her I wouldn't work on a PC to do all the advertising. Because then, if you were doing artwork, you had to have a Mac back then.
Right.
PC didn't even do it. So I was like, I need a Mac and I need this printer, and I saved her a bunch of money, so it was worth it to her, or made her a bunch of money. But anyways, I'm like, why don't you get Macs? And she goes, well, they're so expensive. And I'm like, but they last longer. She goes, what do you mean? It says, how old are all these computers you're replacing? And this was a large mortgage company with 20 or 30 employees,
right,
in house, plus all your guys going out on the road. She goes, like 2 or 3 years old. I'm like, you're replacing them already? She's like, yeah. I go, I got Macintoshes that are 10 years old. They still run fine. She goes, no. And I'm like, yeah. So she bought 7 PCs and 5 Macs. And I left a year and a half later, and 5 of the PCs had to be replaced. And every single one of those Macs had not been touched.
Still running. Yeah.
Still running. Not only not been touched, every PC in there had to been taken to the shop, cleaned out, something done to it, And it's usually not, everyone keeps going, oh, the hardware's terrible. It's usually not hardware related. It's usually some
software
or a piece of firmware. Windows is just completely unstable. Now, it is better. I got to say, Windows 7 and 10 or 8 and 10, whichever the last 2 were, are way more stable. But even still, they still do stupid things. Everyone's bitching about, you're in the middle of a print or you're in the middle of designing something, and all of a sudden Windows comes up and goes, oh, I'm going to auto update now. Screw you.
Yeah.
The Mac goes, would you like to update now? If not, we can wait till tomorrow. And it literally says that. Would you like to do it now?
I think they've recently changed that, because I actually got a pop-up the other day. It said, you need to restart your computer. Would you like to now or later? And or would you like to schedule a time?
Yeah. Which is Mac's been doing. Now, the one thing, Rosa, she's actually your girlfriend, right?
Yeah.
The one thing I won't buy is a Mac laptop. I've had a bunch of them, and they crap out faster than. And it's usually the way they do the ribbon cable into the hinge. It freaking wears it out.
Yeah, I make fun of her all the time. I call it a paper mache.
Yeah,
wannabe.
I mean, when they're working, they're good, but when they aren't, they aren't. I got a $7,000 17-inch MacBook sitting over here that I bought my mother that lasted a year and a half.
She's a gamer, and she can't play any games on that thing because it just bogs out.
Yeah, well, it's not designed for it.
Yeah.
And that's just it. Everyone's like, oh, it's not designed for it. You want a game on a PC, you buy a gaming PC.
Right.
You don't just go out and buy a PC and game on it. Not that you can't, because you can, but it's going to be a piece of crap too. My logo has always been with Macs. I prefer working with my computer than on it. Whenever I'm on PCs, every couple of months, you got to do something and fix it and rebuild it, and something's wrong with it, and it's always broken. The Macs, you just turn them on and they run.
Well, see, my last computer, it was an Alienware, and it lasted 6 years. I never reinstalled Windows. It never had any problems. 6 years it lasted, and then a couple weeks ago, I was moving it around, and I went to plug in one of my monitors, and it sparked and shut down my PC. And then after that, both of the graphics cards wouldn't work. So then I just went ahead and bought a new PC.
I mean, that can happen too. I mean, that's just part of life. But most of the time, there's nothing. What's really sad is I found PC hardware is far superior, and it's plenty stable. There's nothing wrong with PC hardware.
It's all software.
Windows sucks. It's confusing. I mean, you guys, everyone that's a Windows fans are used to it. That's all. The Mac OS, I've run them both. I've run them both since the beginning of frickin' time. I used to run computers on DOS. I know, and I ran them. No matter what I've done, I've always had both.
Right.
Any job I've ever had, I've had 2 computers at least, and one was a Mac and one was a PC. More often at work, I've had more PCs than Macs, and I've had Macs at home. And the Macs just work. The PCs are always breaking down, and it's never the hardware. It's always, you bring it into the shop, and they're like, oh, we got to wipe the hard drive and do this and do that and do this. And it's like, why? Then you get the people that, say, oh, they run forever. And it's like, yes, because you know how to take care of it. The average everyday person doesn't. I mean, mine usually ran pretty good because I'm not super geeky, but I was, I have enough to know to run a, protection software now and again and scan it. And, oh, man, and they're so slow most of the time. The processes are faster, and yet it's slower working. Figure that one out. I can do everything faster on my Mac.
Justin says, why won't Mac Apple allow their OS to work with PC hardware?
It does work with PC hardware. You can do it. It's called
It's called a what?
Hackintosh. And they're not outlawing it anymore. They're actually using it. The only thing with a Hackintosh most of these people don't realize is if you install as a Hackintosh, it knows it. And every time you fire that thing up, it sends back to Apple and does a full analysis of your system for you.
So theoretically, if you had the slot for it, like with the new Macs that you're talking about coming out, you could get one of like the new NVIDIA GeForce graphics cards and stick it in.
No.
No?
You can't use anything NVIDIA. Mac and Apple used to be all NVIDIA, and they had a big fallout when Apple got rid of they got rid of NVIDIA, and at the same time they got rid of Motorola. And NVIDIA had a hissy fit, and deliberately, it's actually NVIDIA, not Mac. NVIDIA actually deliberately sets their hardware so it will not work on a Mac. Same with actually no. Wait a minute. NVIDIA you can. It's what's the other company?
Shoot, what is? Yeah, the Radeons.
Because they used to be the driver. That's it. Because they used to be the driver.
ATI, right?
Huh?
The ATI, right? Is Radeon?
ATI. Because that was the thing when they went. Because ATI was doing the processors, and along with Motorola, people don't realize ATI was originally a break off of Motorola, and right, yeah,
or yeah,
when Apple bailed on all
AMD.
That, yes, AMD.
AMD, that's what it was.
Yeah. Anyways, what are the other of them? Yeah, I think it's AMD. I can't remember. One of them comes with an NVIDIA or AMD. I can't remember which. Anyways, whatever video card company got pissed off when Apple bailed on them and said, no, we're not going to let you work with ours. They said, screw you. And their hardware is set. So you plug it into a Mac, it will not work. And it's their hardware, not the Mac. Mac will recognize the card. It just won't let you drive it.
Right.
You'll get nothing out of the card. Signal will go into the card. The Mac will say it's working. Just nothing will come out of the card. Screw you.
I always wondered why Mac OS just wasn't offered as an alternative operating system on, like a PC-based hardware.
Because they make their money off their hardware, not their OS. Windows makes their money off the OS. Mac OS is free. It's always free. They did like 2 updates ago in OS 10. They charged you $20. You go to the store and buy it for $20. That was it. Windows is what, $250 now? If you were to buy a disk?
I don't know. I
mean, they make their money off the company selling their computers, and they get their $10 or whatever off of every computer.
Right. Yeah, I took my old hard drive and put it on a new PC a few years ago, and the proprietary way that Windows works now is if too much hardware in your system is changed, they think it's a new PC, so it invalidates your license.
Yep.
And I just called Microsoft, and I was like, hey, all I did was change my memory.
Yep.
And it stopped working, so they issued me a new license for free, actually.
That's just it with a Mac. Once it's on, and it's yours, and they don't care. The Hackintoshes, they used to hack the OS so they wouldn't work, and now they've come to the conclusion that they actually use the Hackintosh people to beta test hardware for them, because these guys building these Hackintoshes know what they're doing, and they just start crap in. Will this work? Will this work? Will this work? You know what I mean? So Mac's actually getting a report. When you do a Hackintosh, people don't realize it unless you don't plug it into the network. If you're on a network and you're on the internet, every time you fire that thing up, Apple gets a report on your computer. What hardware is hooked into it, what software it's running. And they don't
Is
do
that
it.
something you can opt out of?
Nope, not with a Hackintosh. And it's one of those under the table things. You don't know about it.
I'm surprised that's not getting blown up in the media because
Well, you're hacking. You're not supposed to be able to do it. The license still says no, that's illegal. They
interesting.
don't care because they're using it for beta testing.
Right.
And they made that very clear that you can fight it or not steal our software. Because basically you're stealing the OS.
Right.
The OS is free with their hardware. That's why it's free, because you had to buy their hardware to get the OS.
Right.
Pay for it. Windows charges you for the OS. So if you're going to use their OS, you have to use it on their hardware or deal with their report.
Well, can you go out and download Mac OS?
Yeah, you can just go to mac.com and download Mac OS, whatever you want.
Gotcha.
Download the installer and everything. Yep. Just go to the Apple Store and download it. It's free to distribute. It's not free to use, if that makes sense. You have to buy Apple hardware to use it.
So it's not truly free.
No. Well, legally, no. If they wanted to start going after all those Hackintoshers, they could. They don't want to bother. They've decided the smart thing to do is to use it. Use it as a study. Let them spend the money to, beta test all this different hardware and see what it'll do and
right.
Specs are, and then they get a report, and that's all they use. There's no personal information. The only thing they get is hardware related and software related. No files, no.
Right.
Not even you have this app or that app. It just says you have this app, and it runs. And
hey, what's up, Lightspeed?
There's no data. Uh-oh. Shit.
What?
I just heard glass breaking down the stairs.
Ooh, that sounds fun. Kiddos?
No, old parents. My father's not well.
Oh.
My father's very, very old and has dementia and wanders off, and cops bring him home, and he's been 20 miles down the street walking down the road in the slippers and his rope kind of thing.
Yeah, I know you were talking about that previously.
Yeah. He's not altogether there anymore. No, I haven't built a Hackintosh. I'm not. I could build it. I can't do the hack part of the Hackintosh. I just don't have the patience for that crap. Just like I was saying, I don't know if you saw it on Twitter, but I just got the SKR, and I put right on Twitter, I said, warning, this is an internet broadcast warning system. Tom bought an SKR, and he will be harassing all your asses about information. I'm doing. The internet or Twitter will be blown up with stupid questions. Yes, Linux is behind Mac OS. Anything that will run Linux can, in theory, run Mac OS.
I thought Mac 10 OS or the latest OS was supposed to have been a rewrite from the ground up.
It was. It was Linux.
But it's still used. Okay. So
it's based on Linux. Do you realize Windows is still based on DOS 3.1?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
3.1. That's it. Actually, I think it's up to like 6, actually, but it's still basically 3.1. If you went into the code, it's still disk operating system. It runs off a disk, starts off a disk, still uses disk OS. All the Windows crap is just making it pretty on your screen.
Mm-hmm.
The actual operating system behind it all is still from the 70s and 80s. And that's just it. People don't realize Mac OS is based on the oldest operating system ever. Linux is the oldest operating system ever. That's what ran the old reel-to-reel tape drives in NASA. Me. Guessing I'm going to shut my phone off. Why?
Wait, who's shutting their phone off?
RCC&C.
Oh. He doesn't want to get spied on.
Only if you're using a Hackintosh. It doesn't do it if you have a Mac. It's only if you have a Hackintosh. Yes, I know. It's BSD. BSD is a form of Linux. They're all the same thing. My brother's a computer scientist. It's all the same thing, believe me. They use the same base code. It's like having G code for Marlin and G code for, riprap firmware for the duets. It's still G code.
Right.
Linux is Linux. BSD is still Linux or Unix. It's actually Unix, which is the same thing. Unix and Linux are very close.
Oh,
Yeah,
he's turning his phone off so you can't bug him about your SKR.
Oh, yeah. That's all right. Just turn Twitter off because I'll hit Twitter like crazy. I won't even bother with Facebook anymore. I go on there and I look, but I don't even. This is what I do at Facebook: scroll, scroll, scroll. Shut it off. If someone doesn't directly say something to me, I don't even go on Facebook anymore. I do have mine. You guys, you're not in my little Facebook group, are you?
I don't have a Facebook.
You don't have a Facebook?
No, I do not. My company does. It's ran by somebody else.
No.
But
That's
I don't
probably a
have a
good thing.
Facebook.
Although you can get a lot of advertising off of Facebook, unfortunately, it could be a bonus for you.
Yeah, pretty much
Yeah,
anybody,
right.
any post I post on Twitter, it gets copied over to Facebook.
At some point, yeah. No, I started out because of the main 3D printing group on Facebook. Started out as a good thing, and then now it's like got 100,000 members or something ridiculous.
Nice.
And it's just gotten to be a snobby bashing full of crap. Half the answers are just plain wrong. You never know what's right or wrong because you can't, one guy will say yes and the other guy will say no, and one will say it's blue and one will say it's green. So you never know. So I started at one called Friendly 3D Printing because I don't, you start bashing, click, gone. I have zero tolerance.
Right.
There was guys, I actually started it back in the fidget spinner days.
Mm-hmm.
It was, when we post about fidget spinners because they're popular. If you don't like it, scroll by. But, I just don't get it. I'm so tired of seeing this. Stop looking.
Right.
Turn the computer off. Go outside. Stop whining about seeing something that you're looking at. You're choosing to look at it. I don't get it. Anyway, so I started 3D, friendly 3D printing group, and the first thing I ever put on it was, you can talk about fidget spinners all you want. I don't care. If I don't want to hear it, I'll scroll right on by.
Right.
Like, it's real easy. Scroll, scroll, scroll.
Yeah, like Michael Fox says, it's all ones and zeros. It's all
Yeah,
the base
exactly.
code.
It's all ones and zeros.
Mac OS and Windows will run on a Pi 4. What?
Yes. I don't know about how the Mac would run on it. Because that's one thing the Mac is it's pretty heavy on the systems, which is funny because they limit their everything. Makes no sense. But I will say Mac OS takes more resources to run than Windows does. Not a lot, but a little bit. Which is stupid because they limit their RAM and everything extraordinarily for what they are.
The Macs limit the RAM?
Yeah, they're all soldered on. And then most of them are 8 gig RAM. How good is that?
Wow. Right.
I mean, even now. I mean, you look at a PC, you don't even 16 is like bottom of the line now.
Right. My graphics card I think has 11.
Yeah. Most of the graphics card are shared on that 8-bit, 8 gig. And they wonder why they won't do anything with them. The ARC computer, it makes no sense. Their hardware has gone stupid. They've gotten more into the form factor and look and body than they are the actual hardware behind it. They made a Mac Mini Pro this year that's based on, get this, a dual-core i3.
i3?
Yeah.
Why?
It starts at $800.
That's ridiculous.
That is ridiculous. Even for a Mac, that's ridiculous. I will 100% agree. Mac OS or Mac hardware has gotten stupid. They used to be cutting edge. You know, you had either the best, you know, when they did Motorola, the G5s and the G4s, they were top of the line at the time. You know, they were always right on the brim. Even when they went to the original, when they first went over to Intel's, they were always, you know, they had the middle of the line and then they had the top of the line, but they always were, even their middle of the line was good. Now it's just garbage. Their hardware is just terrible. Slow.
Oh yeah. You don't have two iPad minis. Emmy has two iPad minis. When one dies, she switches to the other and plugs it in.
Seriously?
Seriously.
Okay, then. It's like my mother. She can't use any of them, but she's got two iPads plus a freaking the Kindle. It's like, how do I do this? Why do you have all this stuff if you don't know how to use it?
Yeah, the biggest mistake I ever made was getting my mother a smartphone.
Yeah.
I moved back down here in 2016, I think, and she had a flip phone. I was like, Mom, you need a better phone. So I went out and I bought her a smartphone, and it's been nothing but trouble ever since.
Okay, I gotta go downstairs. I hear crashing.
All right. Well, I'm gonna end in 8
right
minutes.
Back. So you're getting off in 5 minutes.
Yeah, I'm getting off in 8 minutes. So
I'm hearing all kinds of crashing and noises down there.
That's not good. I've got him in the green room, just in case he does make it back quick, but I don't even know how much RAM my new PC has. I forgot to check. Well, I just forgot what I ordered. Yeah, so it's got 16 gigs of RAM, and then the graphics card has 11 gigs on board itself. Emmy does take over. Emmy is in charge. Rosa likes to pretend she's in charge, but Emmy is in charge. You have 32 gigs of RAM and you run out. What are you doing? Yeah, I think it's still plenty right now as well. I'm going to get in trouble. I'm going to be in the doghouse tonight. That's true. I mean, she's in charge, period. She's in charge of both of us. I will not deny it. But she just smiles at you and you can't help but say yes. And then if you still say no after she smiles at you, she'll then turn into Demon Child and convince you that way. You want to build a more powerful desktop? Anything that's not a Mac should be more powerful. Yes, I know I got her a little spider. That's ridiculous, Viking. Though I'll admit, some days I do get the same way. I shared my screen with Rosie the other day and I had like 30 tabs open and she's like, why do you have so many tabs? You're freaking out my OCD. But usually I have a Photoshop and at least 15 tabs up. But I'll close Photoshop and stuff. At least on my old PC, I'd close Photoshop when I started gaming. I like Fusion 360. Liquider keeps suggesting another design program, but I think it's not free. And at least for another year, Fusion 360 is free. Next year, I don't think it'll be free anymore unless I lie to them. You have hundreds of browsers. Holy cow! Well, my day job. I'm a 3D or not 3D. I'm a web developer. But once I'm done with one project or one task, I close out of it and open the next task for whatever site it's on, and just open that site. Once I'm done with my tasks on a site, I move on. I'm so burnt out from doing web development after 21 years now that I'm just I'll be glad when Alien 3D is completely self-sufficient. Yeah, it's easy to get extended on Fusion 360. I just did two like a month or so ago. But it's supposed to be only free to if you make under 100,000 a year, I think, if your company's under 100,000 a year. But I don't know if that's total revenue or profit, and if it's based on revenue, I may hit that this year. Yeah, it goes on Amazon. That is totally true, babe. That is totally true. Yeah, if it's revenue, I this year I may surpass that. Unfortunately. I mean, it's fortunate that in a year and a half I'll have hit that revenue mark. It's definitely been an awesome growth. But I don't even know what their yearly subscription is. It may be cheap. I know there was back when I was doing 3D modeling for gaming, I used to use 3D Studio Max, and that was 300's not bad, but 3D Studio Max was like $4 to $6 grand, something like that. And when my license for that ran out, I switched to. Well, it didn't run out; it was revoked because I had gotten it through the company I was modeling for. But I switched to Blender for a while, and then I just stopped 3D modeling for a while. For like the last 13 years. So, anyways, guys, it is 9 o'clock. I'm going to go ahead and cut out of here because I've got to get the UFOs finished packed so I could ship them out tomorrow. Thank you guys so much for coming on my first scheduled live stream. Normally I do stream every day because Rosa gets bored at work and she needs me to entertain her somehow. And Tom is back just in time for me to say bye. But thank you guys so much for stopping by. I'm glad Snow Labs was able to make it in for a few minutes. But But Tom, I am ending stream. But thank you for coming on and chatting with me the last bit. I would stay on, but I've got to finish packing the UFOs so I can get them shipped out tomorrow.
I think I'm gonna start the stream. So if anyone wants to boot over there,
hey, everybody, go to 3D Printing Llama stream. That he's about to start.
No, StreamYard's Town Hall just started. I just got a message that StreamYard's is doing their town hall, so I'm gonna go watch that.
All right. So, well, somebody's streaming.
Because I want to hear what StreamYard has to stream about, because they stream everything, because they're the streaming people, because they stream.
Oh, StreamYards themselves are streaming. Gotcha.
Yeah. They do a Sunday night open house town hall thing and ask questions and answer questions and find out what the community wants. And it's really very cool. That's one of the main reasons I like StreamYard so much. Well, it just works.
Yeah, gotcha. Oh yeah, Sholm. Sholm, if you don't know Sholm, sometimes you have to have the right personality for Sholm. But Sholm can be an entertainment guy, and I believe his Sunday night shows are with his sons. Yep. So if you guys want to go check out A Skewed View and his sons, I think it's Sunday's Skewed Stream or something like that.
Yeah, Skewed Sunday or something. I don't know.
Yeah, something like that. So you can guys go check him out if you want another 3D printing stream.
But anyways, StreamYard stream. Anyways, if you want to go to the StreamYard's town hall, just for anybody if they want to go there.
For some reason, links do not work in my.
Oh, yeah.
I need to find the setting because I didn't think I did, but I gotta.
Maybe an admin that should work.
Yeah, that's true. Say something so I can tag you. Where are you? Add moderator. Just make everybody a mod. All right, you should be able to go to.
Should work now. If not, you can see it and copy and paste it. Or just search for StreamYard's Town Hall. Anyways, I'm going to head over there because they already started.
All right. Well, have a good one. Thank you for stopping in.
No problem, man.
Highly appreciate it. Absolutely. Every Sunday, 6 to 9.
All right. I'm off.
Have a good one. So anybody else? Thank you again. I'm really glad that Snow Lab stopped by. Next Sunday, I should have 3D Fused and possibly Wolfworks 3D. 3D Fused is definitely confirmed already, I believe. But thank you so much for stopping by, and see you guys tomorrow if you want to catch my random stream, or next Sunday for my scheduled stream for Alien After Dark. Thank you again so much. Peace out.